Greetings, and welcome back to Pokemon Showdown. So, the 5th of November is coming up. And I thought that I would remember the day by building a team based around the movie V for Vendetta. Also, there's, I think, a graphic novel about it, but I haven't read it. So, I decided I'd give myself a little bit of a challenge. I would build a team made only of Pokemon whose names start with the letter V. And let me tell you, that is not a particularly easy task. There are not many Pokemon that start with V, and of them, making a decently balanced team is not particularly easy. So let's take a look at the team I managed to concoct. Starting off, we have V, the Scarfed Victini. V Create, Zen Headbutt, Fusion Bolt, U-Turn, max attack and speed with the extra points all in speed, so it just goes as fast as possible. It'll outspeed pretty much anything, I think. Then we have Vaporeon, which is a physical wall. It needs to be there because otherwise my team will not deal with anything with fire moves or rock moves, or both, as the case may be, and it can pass some wishes off to people. Then we have a defensive Volcarona, basically to come in, get a few Quiver Dances up, and see about any sort of sweeping, rather than a Volcarona that will die when any sort of, thing comes by and taps it, like I've seen. Then we have Virizion, with a Life Orb, max attack and speed, just a Swords Dancing set, because this was absolutely needed to deal with Heatran. Without it, Heatran just kinda craps on my team and I can't do jack shit to it. So I had to put it in. Next up we have Venusaur, or rather, Mega Venusaur. Previously, I had a Roserade in this place because it fit thematically, even though it didn't fit the naming scheme, but it didn't really help much and it actually didn't do anything. So I replaced it with Mega Venusaur here, and since I have, the win rate has gone up dramatically, so must be doing something right. Last off, we have a Venomoth here. Just a Black Sludge Wonder Skin set. It's basically there to hopefully to put something to sleep, get as many Quiver Dances in as might be possible, get rid of any sort of hazards, because Defog does that now. It clears the entire field, both yours and the opponent's side, of pretty much, it clears all the hazards. It doesn't, I'm pretty sure it doesn't get rid of substitutes. Unfortunately, it'd be great if it did. And then Baton Pass these boosts off to something that can use them, most likely Volcarona. It's gotten some decent use in the past, if only just as something to fodder off. But it's gotten some decent use. It doesn't actually have any attacking moves, so I have to be careful of anything trying to taunt it. But I haven't encountered many of those yet. So, with that all out of the way, let us see what we can blow up. Here we have a battle, and right off the bat, I immediately dislike pretty much everything this person has to bring along. I don't have anything to take on Gliscor. Mega Kangaskhan can beat my shit because parental bond and all that. And I know for a fact that Malamar there, it is too strong. And of course they start the timer immediately. We're just gonna lead off with V here. Oh good! Hi Bronzong. Let's see if you are heat-proof or not. I'm just gonna go for it. And something is going to take quite a lot of damage. This Gliscor, for example. It didn't take as much damage as it probably could have, but it took damage. And a fair amount of it at that. I'm gonna go for another, even though I'm probably gonna get earthquaked. But we're just gonna take that risk, 'cause we can. For setting up the timer, they certainly take their time. Here we go. Ah, so close. 4%. And nope, you're just gonna toxic me. Now, in all the things that I had on my team, or, that I had available for the team, I kinda wish that I had, there's Protect, to try to get more damage. I had hoped, well, I was going to put in something that had aromatherapy to get rid of pesky toxics and stuff, but I ended up not doing so because they wouldn't stand up as well in battle. But it would have been awfully convenient. I'm just gonna go for another one because it won't survive. Unless it wants to try to double protect. And then we'll probably switch V out for something else. Since it is on a toxic timer. There we go. Oh, there's the critical hit I could have used a couple turns back. Yeah, and at this point I definitely have to switch out. Because they're probably going to bring in something else to wreck my shit. I'm kinda surprised that Marowak didn't try to come in and take it. There's Kangaskhan. And I'm gonna go into Volcarona here. There's Mega Kangaskhan with the Sucker Punch. Nah. We ain't doing that. Gonna Quiver Dance here, because without Quiver Dances I don't really do much. There's Power Up Punch. Come on, get burned. Ah. Well, shit. Let's see. On his team, Bug Buzz will probably do the best. That did pretty decent. Really? Alright. Yeah, there's the burn. Of course, at this point, their attack is boosted enough that it doesn't matter that much. And the Sucker Punch will do a pretty decent amount. Yeah, it has Flame Body to try to get those burns. There we go, Mega Kangaskhan is dead. Excellent. That thing can be quite the thorn in the side. Let's see what you're gonna switch in next. Bronzong. You're probably gonna try to set something up, and I'm just gonna roost here. Get some health back. There's a light screen. And I'm gonna Fiery Dance, because you're obviously not heat proof. Gonna set up both screens. I don't really care much about that, because I have Defog to get rid of them. Ah, Trick Room. Explosion! Look at that! It didn't do... well, it did a decent amount, but it didn't do shit overall. However, Marowak can wreck some shit. Especially behind screens like that. I'm gonna keep it in. Yeah, because there was no way I was gonna switch back. Gonna switch in Venomoth here. And put it to sleep. Unless it outspeeds and takes me out instantly. What? Oh! That 1%! And now I defog to get rid of those pesky screens. And also lower its evasion. And also, there goes that, and we can now Quiver Dance safely. Well, as safely as you can at low health. I think now is a pretty decent chance to baton pass out to, oh, I don't know. Venusaur might be a good thing here. In fact, it might be my best choice here. Because then we get boosts. And, oh, you're gonna hate this. Go Mega and Giga Drain. You probably don't stand much of a chance. Whenever the opponent decides to make a move. Yeah, they're gonna switch out for Breloom, which was a pretty good thing. Although, wow. That did a pretty decent chunk, and now Sludge Bomb comes next and takes it out. Excellent. Oh, they forfeited. Alright. Good game to you, I guess. I probably would have brought in the Malamar and tried to go at it, but they probably felt that they couldn't take on this, well, they just couldn't take it on outside of a Trick Room. That's the problem with Trick Room. Outside of it, you just kind of get outsped. So, let's see if we can find another battle out there. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, okay. Never mind. I was gonna say, this team looks trolly as fuck. And also annoying to face, but, good news. They forfeited. Let's see if we can fit another in, since that didn't take any time at all. Hey, so I'm just gonna tack this on to the end of the previous video because it fits in with it. That one kind of ended a little bit awkwardly because I sat there for like 5 minutes at the end of it, just waiting for another battle, and none showed up, so I figured, Showdown must be derping or my internet's crapping out as usual, you know, and closed out my recording. And just as I do that, this battle shows up. So, you know, and I knew I wouldn't have enough time to get my recording set back up, so I figured I'd just save a replay and record it later. So, they come in, and to me, this is you know, pretty threat-heavy team that they're bringing against me. And I have the Aegis Slash that everyone has to predict around, unless you can just Sucker Punch without you know, without worries or anything. And the Greninja, that is a huge threat with its Protean, or at least I consider it a huge threat. I might have to run one of those one time. However, this match ends pretty happily, as you'll see. So, they lead off with their Tyranitar to get their sand up and all that, and I lead off with V, as usual. And I U-turn here to go out into something else, and they predict that nicely and pursuit me, which does far more than I would have hoped, and I should have expected them to do that, but I didn't. Oh well. I bring in Virizion, because I figure nothing on his team is really going to enjoy getting a close combat, except for, you know, Aegis Slash or Gengar. But thankfully they don't bring in either of those. Instead, they bring in Garchomp, which takes about 61% of its health. You know, that's a good chunk. And then because of Virizion's speed, I take it out right about now with a Leaf Blade. So that's Garchomp out of the way, and a sigh of relief from me, because I don't really want to be on the receiving end of a Garchomp. I don't really have anything else to deal with that. And they bring in Gengar, and at this point just finished me off with Focus Blast. I was unaware that Gengar was so fast, else I probably would have switched into something else. But I didn't, but it doesn't really matter that much. So I bring in Volcarona here, figuring Gengar can't really do much to me. They set up a substitute, and I set up a Quiver Dance. Yeah, so that I can actually do something to it. And here, to try to break the substitute, I use a Fiery Dance so that I'm not wasting a Bug Buzz and maybe get a boost, which I do. And this Sludge Bomb doesn't really do an appreciable amount. And I figure, yeah, I'm clear to Bug Buzz now. It does not do as much as I would have thought. I would have thought it would have done more. However, Gengar's now too weak to substitute, and I know it's weak enough that Fiery Dance will kill it, so I do, and I get another boost out of it. So, things are shaping up pretty well for Volcarona right now. So, at this point, they bring in Greninja, hoping to kill it off. But I'm too fast, and I Bug Buzz it critically, and just take it out clean. That was a good feel, to just get rid of Greninja like that. So, they bring in Aegis Slash, and, Shadow Sneak, and they get a critical hit, but it doesn't matter, really. And I kill it off with Fiery Dance. I probably would have kept it in a defense form to try to get some, to at least survive a hit, perhaps. But they didn't do that. Well, they bring in Tyranitar and a Bug Buzz, because at this point I am too strong and fast to be stopped by pretty much anything. And at this point they're just left with Skarmory, and this goes about like you'd expect it to. It comes in, I use a Fiery Dance, it goes down to Sturdy, and it whirlwinds me out. Right into Venusaur, which promptly takes it out with a Giga Drain. I could have gone Mega, but I figured that'd be overkill. There was no, and there'd be no point in doing it. So, thankfully, I got another win for it, and now I can, close out the video properly. So, I think with all this, there is more than enough for one video. So with that, until next time, farewell.